Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all in this truth from and who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Unto you I say shalom. Coming to you back with another lesson through the Spirit. Now I'm entitled this one, America doesn't have much longer, because the average age of an empire usually lasts around 250 years. And 2026, July 4, 2026, that's a very special date for America, which is Babylon the Great in the scriptures. It's going to celebrate its 250th year. And with all the different events taking place throughout the four corners of the earth, this is how you know that we're at the end of this current empire. We're at the end of Babylon the Great, which is America, along with the nation that is ruling this current kingdom, which is the self-proclaimed white man, Esau, Edom. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai only gave him a period of time to rule upon the planet Earth, and that time to rule is almost up. That's why in Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12 it says, "Rejoice ye heavens, and ye," or roughly paraphrasing, but woe to the people that dwell upon the earth, because the devil is going to come down upon you, because he knows that he has a short time. Esau, Edom, knows that he has a short time. That's why he's doing what he's doing over there in Iran, trying to speed up the collapse of the dollar, the collapse of the economy, so he can implement that new system, the new digital currency system, which is ultimately going to be headed by the RFID microchip, which is the MOTB. So all these different nations and so-called allies of the U.S., they're tired of Babylon the Great. They're tired of America and its philosophy, its way of ruling, and that's why, like it says, the beast is gonna hate the whore. All of his so-called allies of America are eventually gonna turn on America, and it's already happening now, because the U.S. is asking for help with the Iran versus U.S. versus Israel war, but they said, hell no, you're in it for yourself. So nobody respects America like they used to. That's why everybody's doing away with the dollar, doing away with its philosophies, its Babylonian wine. This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that's why everybody's turning against America, Babylon the Great. Because back then, right after World War II, everybody was scared of America. They feared the weapons it possessed, the atomic bomb that it dropped in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So nobody wanted that smoke. But as the decades went by, everybody started forming their own nuclear capabilities. Russia, China, North Korea. But now that, like it says, let the weak say I'm strong, that's what's happening. Everybody's tired of the philosophies of America, the feminist agenda, the LG alphabet agenda, the women being over the men, the U.S. dollar and his way of life, fast food and Starbucks, McDonald's, the black culture, TikTok, BET. Everybody's tired of that. That's why all these nations, whenever America, Babylon the Great, tries to impose its so-called democracy, everybody's like, hell no. But since that happened in Japan in 1945, everybody got on board. But now that everybody's like in that bold spirit to just throw the middle finger up to Babylon the Great America, now everybody's like, oh hell no, we're tired of you. Verse 8, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. And that's that's being sarcastic, because Babylon the Great, America, is not going to be healed. No, nothing's going to heal it. no matter what Donald Trump does, talking about making America great again, we're going to put these tariffs on all these nations because in the long run it's going to benefit us. But here gas is damn near $4. In just 2 weeks, gas went from being $2 and a couple cents to damn near $4 for the regular kind, not even for the 93 octane. And Lord's will, it doesn't go up because America, Babylon the Great, is not going to be healed. It's not going to be made great again. Like it says right here, verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. And that's what's going to be the end of America, Babylon the Great. That's going to be the end of the Third World War. It's going to end with the thermonuclear destruction that's going to be caused by the intercontinental ballistic missiles that are going to be shot over here to the soles of America to utterly destroy this place, to leave it utterly destroyed, to the point where all these mushroom clouds, you're going to be able to see them from the other ends of the earth, because Babylon the Great, like, is people that live here, is citizens, Americans, Babylonians, whatever you want to call them. They've been so indoctrinated and fed all these lies, docile as all hell, that they think that life like this is going to continue on forever, going to work, paying taxes. And no, people don't understand that this whole thing is about to be shut down. 2020 part 2, but even worse, because now you have every kind of crisis that you could think of that's on the board. Another pestilence, another false flag event like 2001 with the New York. People aren't expecting these things here in America because they're so used to comfort, they're so used to convenience. They're not used to missiles and gunshots, just going off left and right. So when it all happens, people are going to be like, man, what the hell? Where did this come from? But Yahweh Bashmiel Shai is visiting this earth, especially America, Babylon the Great, because this is where that wickedness, the mother of all harlots, stems from, is America and its philosophies that it pushes out throughout the four corners of the earth. Here you may have a conservative country in the east, so-called Muslim country, and they have all their ancient ways, keeping a woman in the order. Women aren't driving. And then as soon as America goes to these other countries, it imposes laws. Now you have women bucking up to their men, women driving, alcohol is allowed now, and it just leads to that same degenerate behavior that Babylon the Great America pushes. This is Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. And it reads, behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. And the Lord has his eye on America, Babylon the Great, and so do these other nations. These other nations they're not rocking with America. They're not rocking with what it's doing over there in Iran, trying to forcefully take over and change the regime. So Yahweh Bashmiel Shai is going to allow America to keep messing up more and more, to the point where all these nations are going to be like, hell no, it's not benefiting anybody to Babylon the Great to continue to be in power. So that's why Yahweh Bashmiel Shai is about to put a stop to this devil, the Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, and bring his kingdom down. And it's going to start with this World War III going nuclear, the mass implementation of the MOTB, which is the RFID microchip. These are all prophecies that are right at the door, but yet majority of our people, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're in darkness. They don't know what the hell's going on. That's why when those missiles get shot over here to the soils of America, majority of our people are gonna get destroyed. The 2/3, the wicked, those who were predestined to not receive salvation. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And we're at that cutoff point where Esau, Edom, is getting ready to be brought down from his rulership position. Yahweh Bashim Shai set a time limit to where Esau, Edom can rule, and that time is almost up. And what's the next kingdom is going to be established upon the planet Earth is going to be the kingdom of heaven, because you have all these different countries that think, oh, okay, we take out America, we destroyed it, we destroy that whore, and we got next, Russia, we got next, China, we got next. No, the ones who are going to have next are going to be the Israelites here up on the planet Earth that are going to establish the kingdom of heaven, starting with who everybody ignorantly calls Christ, which his real name is Yahweh Shai in the ancient Hebrew, and a governing body, the 144,000. They're the ones who are going to establish the new kingdom upon the planet Earth, the kingdom of heaven that is right around the corner. It's months away. We're months away from the great destruction of America, Babylon the Great, by the way of the intercontinental ballistic missiles. But also, as that taking place, that's when the great deliverance of the elect, of the 144,000 and the 1/3 here in America and wherever the elect is scattered, is going to take place. Verse 8, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we're at the end of Esau, Edom's world. That's how you know who's ruling in these last days. It's not Japheth. It's not these other heathen nations. It's no other than the self-proclaimed white man, Esau, Edom. Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, is coming back in a world being ruled by the Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people. And that's why Yahweh Bashim Shai is about to bring this devil down, because the only ones who are signing crying for this kingdom to be destroyed and to be delivered are the remnant, the elect, like it says in Ezekiel chapter 9 and 4. The rest of our people, they're not crying out for this place to be destroyed. They're not crying out to be delivered. They're not crying out for this wickedness to be abolished. No, they're okay with this filth. And that's why Yahweh Bashim Shai is going to leave him here and allow them to suffer the death of a heathen, since they want to stay here so bad. Yahweh Bashim Shai is not going to wait about a whole nation of Israel like in the time of Egypt. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. So it says with plagues as before. So just like the plagues from Egypt, the river, the water turning into blood, the locusts, the death of the firstborn. Those plagues they're already hitting America, but it's going to get so bad where people are going to understand that it's a supernatural power, that is something not human doing this, that ultimately is Yahweh Bashim Shai Al Shaja, the one that's behind all these different plagues that are about to hit America, Babylon the Great. Well, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 17, a great darkness, it's about to come up on America. The power grid going down, people bugging the hell out. You already have famines, but it's only going to get worse. That's why you got all these gas prices going up to the point where people aren't going to be able to pay their workers, their drivers, their CDL drivers to deliver goods. But yet, majority of these people, they're not paying attention to these things. They're not paying attention that, you see less and less food in the grocery stores. This is verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh Bashim Shai shall bring upon it. So the Lord is going to show his indignation towards this place, towards Babylon and Great America. Sirach chapter 39, there's already spirits created for vengeance, but they're just waiting to let loose. Once Yahweh Bashim Shai gets done talking, gets done speaking through his prophets, through his mouthpiece, he's going to let those four winds let loose, and all hell is going to break loose. A time like no other, Jacob's trouble. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 4 and verse 29. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then could not it come that is sown with good. So right now we're at the place that is sown bad. Everything's upside down here. You got women over the men. Everything's backwards, literally. You know, you write and read from the left to the right when it's supposed to be to the right to the left. You know, this place is completely turned backwards. You know, people call good evil and they call evil good. Like it says in Isaiah, I think 59, whenever you come up out of the ways of the world, you make yourself a target. You know, you call out evil, people look at you crazy like, oh, don't call out evil. No, that's good. But that's how this place was created to be, is a wicked and corrupted place that's about to be destroyed by Yahweh Bashim El Shai. This is Job chapter 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he could not pass. So Yahweh Bashim El Shai appointed the set time that Esau, Edom, the double-claimed white man, along with the America, Babylon the Great, and his time to rule upon the planet Earth, he set that date that Esau, Edom can't pass. And that date is almost here. Yahweh Bashim El Shai is about to bring Babylon the Great, America down. It's already crumbling. It's already collapsing. But it's only going to get worse and worse. Lord's will, you know, the whole situation over there in Iran, it doesn't die down. Lord's will, these prices of gas keep going up, even though we're being affected by it. But we know that we have to go through that straight gate to get to the kingdom of heaven, which is right after the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, and the downfall of Esau, Edom's kingdom. The kingdom of heaven is right around the corner. It's months away. You know, but only the remnant, only the elect are looking forward towards that. You know, the rest of our people, they're still going to be consumed with Babylon the Great, America, until they get destroyed. But that's pretty much the point. I pray that this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all learned this truth from and who do well.